Thank you, Shannon. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us today. It's an honor to be here. I want to let you know that I'm all very inspired to share with you perhaps a new way of thinking and being. And for me, this topic is incredibly important because it can really shift your attention and improve your life dramatically. So thank you for joining me. My goal for today is to share with you insights and steps to bring about your brilliance and a life of grace and ease to help you create success in all areas of life, whether it be business, relationships, health, etc. And I ask you to just, if you have some paper next to you, when I ask this question, what is your definition of success? Just allow yourself a second or two to write down a word or two or three that will help you understand what your definition of success is. My definition of success is when I think, speak, and act congruently. My subconscious and consciousness is aligned. It's when I live for my soul rather than my ego. You see, ladies, I believe that we are all born perfect and whole. I believe that we are energetic beings, that we are either adhering to universal laws or denying them. At an early age, we begin forming our own beliefs about God, money, sex, our gender, marriage, politics, love, and morality, as well as beliefs about ourselves as individuals. And these beliefs came from our loved ones, people who are our primary caretakers, people who are in authority figures, are authority figures in our lives. These inherited beliefs, and I want to say that one more time, these inherited beliefs about who we are often outside of our conscious awareness. And we become so accustomed to certain beliefs that we don't even notice them. They drive our behavior, however, well into adulthood, and they can lead to unconscious reactive tendencies. Studies show that by the time we are 8 years old, we have had over 25,000 hours of linguistic programming. Words have been downloaded to us, imprinting our minds with ideas about who we are and what is or isn't possible. I want to repeat that, 25,000 hours. Most psychologists and psychiatrists agree on that figure by the time that we are 8 years of age. Isn't that incredible? In other words, we take on other people's baggage. We take on other people's limiting beliefs and fears and ideas of how things should and shouldn't be. These subconsciously ingrained beliefs fuel our thoughts and drive our behaviors until we, what I commonly refer to and what is commonly referred to as waking up. You see, I've learned that the quality of our thoughts, language, and conversations directly impact the quality of our life. How you experience life mirrors the quality of your questions. Life is also about relationships. The quality of the communication determines the quality of your relationships, not only with others, but ladies, most importantly, especially with yourself. And here's an example of asking a question versus coming up with a statement or a conclusion on something. Instead of hearing yourself say, I'm so tired, you can also open up, what can I do right now to bring more vitality into my life? You feel a difference between I am so tired to what can I do right now to bring more vitality into my life? Do you feel the difference of that? Do you feel the energy of that? The choices that we make in thought, word, and action create an immeasurable ripple effect out in our lives. It influences everyone and everything around us. In any given instant, we are either choosing consciously or unconsciously. Language reveals one's consciousness even. So when you hear yourself saying things repeatedly, you can be sure of what level of consciousness that you are at or what state of being you are being. Every statement you make and every question you ask contain embedded assumptions that reveal your values, attitudes, and worldview. Here's an example of being unconscious throughout our day. Have you ever driven home and not know how you got there? Have you ever eaten a meal and finished a meal and not know where it went? Do you ever go into a room for something only to stand there and not know why you entered the room in the first place? I can say to you comfortably and confidently that if we're 40, above the age of 40, etc., that it could be a memory thing. But most likely it is because we're acting out of unconscious beliefs and behaviors. If you don't know who is driving that car, eating your meal, or retrieving the item, how can you fix anything? How can you apply increasing your life and elevating your life? The who that was driving the car and eating your meal was your unconscious or your subconscious mind. You know, we are so blessed to have the freedom to choose and the power to create. We create as we think and as we speak. And so I ask you, what have you been speaking into existence? What we can do to find that out is get curious. So I invite you, please, ladies, join me. Get curious about yourself. Get curious about the words that you're using, about the energy that you're bringing to your family, your work situation, your clients. Would your thoughts and words express appreciation and encouragement? Or would you capture looping thoughts about problems, focusing on the past, bringing up doubts, perhaps even speaking unkindly of others or even about yourself? You see, to live authentically, to fulfill our destiny and consciously create success, it is essential to elevate our thinking, evolve our language, and live with awareness. So how do we do this? How do we get curious? Observe your language, number one. Notice the words that you tend to use often. Separate yourself from knowing that it's the real you, which is your soul, versus your unconscious or egoic mind. If you can separate those two and begin to notice the words that you tend to use often, you will identify what it is that you are saying. You will get curious about what it is that you're saying. And I invite you to do this without judgment. You can ask yourself, what do these words evoke within me? I invite you to be more aware of the language you use and empower yourself to choose your words wisely, because a powerful agent is the right word. Our words either help our functional minds to experience either problem or possibility, fear or love, scarcity or abundance, confusion or clarity, struggle or allowing, neediness or resourcefulness, and separation or unity. Ladies, I'm going to give you two sentences in a moment here. What I would love for you to do is to pay attention and notice the experience each one evokes in you. What images do you conjure up, how they make you feel? So the two sentences are, the first one, I'm just a mom. And the second question is, I am a present, loving presence in my family's lives. I am the queen mother. All right, now, you may be thinking, guys, yeah, right, Pamela, obviously the second sentence is much more inspiring, but nobody talks like that, and that is true. And if they did, you'd think that they were a bit dramatic or at least incredibly verbose. It does seem a little bit unusual at first, ladies, but once you begin to recognize we as the soul that we are, being in a human body, we are a big habit. We have habits, and it's a matter of just changing one habit for another. You see, you've been talking most of your life and probably have never been so conscious of what you're saying. What if you knew that by choosing your words more precisely, everything in your life would improve? Wouldn't it make sense to get a little playful and explore the potential your language possesses to create an ultimate dream life? You will move toward what you focus on. You will experience what you declare. As we actively choose our words wisely, we elevate what shows up in our lives. Every moment contains a seed of enormous potential. But if someone chooses today, just like they did yesterday, without awareness, we can recreate the past and project it into the present. Of course, it's okay to choose the same thing, but the question is, are we choosing from a space of unconscious habit, or are we choosing consciously in alignment with your purpose? When we choose with awareness, we are empowered, and we will consciously create success in all areas of our lives. Here's an example of words, playing with words, so to speak. We have a war on terror, a war on poverty, a fight against cancer, and a fight against obesity. Mother Teresa, one of my favorite comments ever, knew that fighting something actually fuels it. She said, I was once asked why don't I participate in anti-war demonstrations? And she said that I will never do that. But as soon as you have a pro-peace rally, I'll be there. Here's an example from my life. A year and a half or so ago, I had a client where they had multiple subcontractors involved in a project. And everyone was very nervous because they started seeing some writing on the wall. And they started to allow their nervousness and their fear to infiltrate their thoughts and their words. Slowly but surely, each consultant was actually fired by my client. And I was the only one left standing. And the saving grace in that experience was my language and my thoughts. I refused to get caught up in other people's reality and other people's fears. So when I felt myself being fearful of possibly losing this client, I would infiltrate my own thoughts, and I would add the habit of saying, what would it take to be even more prosperous? What would it take to be even more helpful? What would it take to be even more successful with this client now? And every time I caught myself being in an egoic state of mind versus a state of being, those are the questions that I began to ask myself, and I lived in that space. And 2 years later, that client is still with me. So how do we consciously create success? Well, there's a few prerequisites that I want to share with you today. The first one is take responsibility for everything, past, present, and future, unfolding in your life without attachment. Take ownership, no ifs, ands, or buts for every result in your life, realizing that at some level you attracted or created it. And that's based on the law of vibration, the law of attraction, the universal laws that we either adhere to or deny. This isn't about blame. It is about absolute freedom. If you created it, you can transform it. And if you are aware that in any given moment you are either at cause in your life or in effect, freedom will definitely be yours. And what I mean by at cause, ladies, I'm talking about accepting responsibility for your entire experience of reality. You take personal accountability without judgment of yourself and or others for everything that manifests in your life. You own your results of them, the light, the shadow, and everything in between. Owning results, desired or not, liberates you to change course on demand. And I'm speaking from experience, and I'm speaking that from the experience of the clients that I mentor. Conversely, anytime you give an excuse, blame, or complain, you are in effect. Being in effect means you've temporarily given up your power. And who wants to do that? None of us. But we've created that habit. When someone is in effect, our communication absolutely 100% reflects it. We worry, we criticize, we react disproportionately to a circumstance, or we completely check out altogether. Being in effect is playing the role of persecutor or victim, and it's shifting the focus to the environment rather than one's own mind or inner power to create change. Ladies, I want to invite you to accept this possibility and probability that you and you alone are the grand architect of your life. You are more powerful than any challenge in your life. No matter what, you can direct your focus and choose your response because you are responsible, or if we break that down, response-able, which means that you are able to consciously respond in each instant regardless of circumstance. And how you respond to life paves the way for future manifestations. There's a 10-step formula that I'm inviting you to take part in order for you to consciously create your success. And the number one thing is to observe what is with courage and without attachment. That's saying it is what it is, absolutely goes a long way. Choose what you intend to create or experience, and then check in with yourself. Ensure that you are being on purpose. Ensure that you are being versus doing. Then see, hear, and feel the end result accomplished in your mind's eye. You model success and create a milestone. You find a role model that's already accomplished these things and that actively creates continuously the habit to bring about more success in their life. And then you model their success. Amplify the pictures and sounds and feelings in your mind. By going to, if you want to drive a specific type of car and you don't know how to feel or see or experience that in your mind's eye, go and test drive one. Declare that what you want with authority and know that it is done. Have faith. When we have faith the size of a mustard seed, ladies, we can move mountains. And I can thank Judy Goss for this because she shared with me Joel Osteen's quote. It goes something like this. A farmer never really, when a farmer plants their seeds, they're not concerned about when the crop is going to show up. They just expect it and know that it will. And if it doesn't, for some unforeseen reason, they're able to go with the flow because they're consciously creating their environment. The number 8 would be act without lust or result. Visualize it, see it, feel it, be it, and then expect it without pining after it. Because when we pine and chase something, we keep it at arm's length. We actually keep it away from us, and that's based on law of vibration. The number 9 is be ready and alert, because these things that we request and declare and demand come to us in multifaceted ways. And then number 10, most importantly, allow it. Let it come in and let it unfold in your life. We are blessed with the freedom to choose and the power to create. And you create as you think and speak. I ask you again, what have you been speaking into existence? You see, every cell in your being, ladies, aligns with what you declare. Your cells are eavesdropping on your internal dialogue, and language creates your material reality. A quote from Deepak Chopra. Here's how you can apply this wisdom right now, and it's really simple, ladies. Before you open your mouth, create a picture in your mind of what you really want. This will help you create inward fluency. Your words will match your authentic intent. And you're not mindlessly talking. You'll be aware. You are being purposeful and precise with your language in that moment. And here's an example. In business, there is a colossal difference between someone who says, I must make this sale, needy, pining, wanting, versus someone who visualizes building authentic relationships and then declares, I am inspired to open this relationship. Do you feel the difference? Do you feel the energy of that? Through awareness and language, you can purposefully program your functional mind to pay attention to information that will support you in accomplishing your mission. And this will help you achieve your goals by alerting you to possibilities you might previously have overlooked. That's that part of allowing things to come into you. I invite you to invest in a deep breath also before you create or before you speak your existence. Taking a deep breath or two before you respond in any given moment or situation. Again, let's get curious and genuinely ask a purposeful question, one designed to elicit the deeper meaning beyond words. I invite you to consciously create your success and get excited about the possibilities that are right in front of you to assist you on your journey. We speak our existence in many ways. Through our thoughts, through our internal dialogue, nonverbal communication, meaning our body language, through the clothing that we wear, the labels that we're wearing, the pictures and sounds that are coming forth from us, we are constantly creating. I want to ask, along with those lines of getting curious, when you pay attention to your statements, have you been saying statements that emerge from fear or certainty, or have you been frequently disempowering or empowering yourself? Do you say things like, I'm stressed, I'm bored, I'm tired, I'm disappointed, I'm broke, I'm stupid, I'm alone, I'm depressed, I'm out of shape, I'm angry? Because whether you think you are or not, you're right about those things. Or do you say things like, I'm centered, I'm present, I am inspired, I am brilliant, I am sexy, I am gorgeous, I am a pure genius, I am ready. If you can remember that you are not your body, that you have one. If you can remember that you are not your mind, that you have one. And that you can remember that you are an infinite being, a soul and pure energy, that you are not currently what you are identifying yourself, this is a huge key to help you be present and aware and start to pay attention to what it is that you are saying. Ladies, your thoughts and words become your self-fulfilling prophecy. And I leave all of this information with you, as always, and with blessings for an abundance of health, wealth, wisdom, and time. Thank you so much for sharing your time and energy with me today. I hope that you found today very helpful.